Welcome, guys. It's the second of the month. It's already 2:30. I'm a little bit late today. I was pretty busy this morning. Welcome to the channel. We got another episode of stocks, guys. We're episode 38, I guess. Yes, we're episode 38. Let me go ahead and change this little portrait. I always forget kind of this is not difficult to fix. Let's change that. Boom. Okay, guys. So we're doing stocks today. All the way to Friday. Anybody new showing up? Don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the follow. This is what we do, guys. We check low price stocks, we scan stocks and everything. El Wolf PR. Huepa. Huepa, huepa, huepa. Gracias por venir pa' ahí. And so, today we're gonna do stocks and everything. I came up, this is kind of ideas that I grasped from different types of content creators. And so, what I started doing yesterday, right? I dedicated. By my rules, I was supposed to dedicate at least 4 hours. I did like 7 hours yesterday. I went ahead. I took an hour of my time, and I chat on certain content creators that need their hours for their stream and everything, because it's the beginning of the month, and they have some requirements to continue in the creator program. And so yesterday I picked like 7 people yesterday, and I had my phone on, here and there. I got in there, chat here, bits and pieces. At the same time, I was supporting them on other channels as well, following them, hitting the like and all that stuff. And so that's kind of what I want to try to do often. Probably not 6-7 hours, but I could do probably 3 to 4 hours of my time. If I'm not stuck in the screen, maybe I could leave my phone on there and helping the community. And so that's kind of my idea, guys, to kind of spread out the message to everyone out there, to kind of mimic, probably not do the same thing I'm doing, but if they can, yeah, if greater, then perfect. But at least help the community grow, and showing support, either by having their phones on other content creators, chatting and everything. Me, I leave my, if I'm not there present, I leave my phone at least on for like an hour. I put my hour timer, and so I just leave it there for like an hour, and then I kind of help them out in other ways at the same time, and then I move on to the other content creators. At least that helps them with at least an hour of of view hours and stuff like that. And so it helps each other out, especially also with what do you call that, with there's a name for that, like chemistry with your followers, and with the community and as a whole and everything. So it helps with chemistry, and they get to know a little bit about you, you get to know a little bit about them, and we all help each other out. So that's kind of the little things that I had in mind. When I woke up yesterday in the morning, I was like, well, why shouldn't I? We all gotta we all gotta complete the requirements. Why not do it in a pretty awesome way? And so let's go ahead and start off. Right after this stream, I'm gonna start off my quest and supporting the community and everything. LFPR say starting is rough. Oh yeah, I know. I'm ready to rumble, just like the the company name. I'm ready to rumble, but that's part of the game. You just gotta be persistent, and you have to be on it. And so let's go ahead and start off today. Just like I said, is 2:30. It's already the second of the month, and it's it's stock day. So let's go ahead and check what we had planned. Let me change the screen. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm seeing. Let me add that and add the notes. Okay, now you guys can see. Okay, so for those showing up new that doesn't know what they're seeing right now, on my left side, right, you're gonna see the website that I use to screen stocks, especially low price stocks and everything. And so that right there, will help you start your journey, understanding what stocks are, what percentage changes are, what volume is, kind of like getting involved here and there. Not to the point where you're trading, but at least the fluctuation of the stocks by just watching the previews. I mean, you can see the change flow of the percentage change. And so at least you could get yourself into knowing the stocks a little bit more. And so this is a screener, right? And so also on this browser, I also have the trading view, which is it shows you the whole charting of the stock, whatever specific stock that you're watching. I mean, you could set this in all different kinds of ways. You could even put like 4 different screens and watch 4 different stocks at the same time. Like, there's different ways you could use this software, and it's free. That's a good thing. Now, the only downside, guys, is that it's delayed. And in order to have live feed of the charting while the market is open, you have to have some type of subscription with them. And so there's other softwares out there, guys. There's other websites that you could find that does the same, that has the same things, probably even better. um, Probably the majority, guys, is all, you have to have a subscription with them. But the only one that I know, like, the only 2 that I know that are very uh I forgot the other name of the other one. I'll probably get it for you guys. I have it on my Discord, guys. I have it on my Discord. And so any type of information that you guys want to know, it's on my everything's on my Discord. And so but the other one is Weeble. You can set up the live feedback. You don't have to pay no subscription as long as you sign up with them and everything. Eventually, I mean, if you're ready to start trading, I mean, you could start off the account right there and then and deposit whatever that you need to deposit. But I would recommend first to like learn the basics, learn the fundamentals, and eventually, guys, you're gonna get better and get to the point where you're gonna start dipping yourself into the trading stocks. Okay, so this is the web that I'm using right now. It's just mainly for you guys. Normally I use Weeble, but this is pretty perfect to kind of like learn how the charts are look, how the trends work, and how the candlesticks look like and everything, how the indicators work and everything. So this will give you like a more, like a big broad picture of how the stocks look like in real time. Well, you got real time and you got delay time. So right now this is delay time. Okay. And so also we have on the third tab right here, we have for crypto. So this is coin market cap. I mean, there's so many websites, guys, so many websites for crypto, for scanning crypto. I mean, there's even top gainers list, like this one too. This one has a top gainers list that you could see. And right here, I mean, based on the gainers of the day is where you make, if you're trading like I'm trading, which is short term, this is kind of what you want to see. And so, just for picking an example, this one is the top percent gainer of the day, 4,000%, guys. The chart might not look great, but the percentage is amazing. Yeah, this is not a good chart to watch. Yeah, this is not clear. Stocks, they move in different ways, and you have to see the volume, guys. You have to see the volume and compare it to the. You have to compare it to the supply, which is the float. You know, in this case, for cryptos, you have the circulating supply. Okay, and the circulating supply, it will be preferred to be much lower than the volume. Okay, but we're not gonna jump into crypto right now. We're gonna do the stocks first. So let's go ahead and jump into the stocks. What you see on your right side, guys, is the document right there. And on that document, guys, I have a criteria, guys, that I go through. I've been building this criteria for many years. It works for me. It might not work for you. And on your journey, guys, it will come to you eventually where you're making your own criteria, making your notes and getting, your own understanding of the stocks and everything. Not only for my stocks, maybe low price stocks is not for you, but at least you get some little understanding of what volume is, what certain terms are, that I'm about to talk right now, what market cap is, little fundamental stuff. And so I want to thank everyone who's watching right now. Don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the follow, guys. D Love said, W stream, yeah. Hit the W, hit whatever you could, whatever you can hit to support the channel. But yeah, guys. Also, I have a like goal of 2, guys. That's kind of my goal for the day. I mean, whatever comes from your heart to show support, either through likes, either through reposting the stream, that will be perfect. We also have 150 goal for followers. Eventually we're gonna get there, and so yeah, this is a healthy community, and so we're here to help each other out. So let's go ahead and start off. So on the right, yeah, D Love with the all the lights and everything. I mean, showing support. Thank you for the hearts and everything. Appreciate it. Thank you. And so yeah, what you see on the right, guys, is the document. That's my criteria, and so I'm gonna go through this really quick. Hopefully you guys could see clearly, or maybe I could like zoom in a little bit so you guys could get the whole picture. Let's see. Maybe I gotta zoom out a little bit because it's not gonna fit there. Okay, hopefully, let me see if I can fix that really quick, because I don't want you guys to miss anything. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me squeeze this a little bit. Squeeze this other stuff. There we go. And at least you get a little bit there extra. So let me zoom this a little bit more and we could start. There we go. Perfect. So as you can see in the top, I mean, we're already not on January. We're on February already. So February the 2nd. And it's 2026. This month that passed is awesome. It went fast. It's awesome. D Love with the W, yay. Love this. D Love say, thank you, appreciate it. Thank you very much for the support. Yeah. So this right here, I mean, I'm looking at right now I'm Pacific time, but usually the stock market it starts 9:30 Eastern time, 9:30 in the morning, right? And it closes all the way to 4 o'clock, guys. And that right there, that time between 9:30 and 4 in the stock market, guys, we call it intraday. Okay, anything before that is pre-market, and anything after the hours close is after hours. Okay, this is very simple to explain. If you want to know more about the hours and see also more information, you guys could go to Nasdaq. Right here, you put on either Google or anything like that. You put Nasdaq trading hours, right? And you're gonna see here the second option here. It will show you here the trading hours. Right here, this section right here is the holidays, guys. So you could be, you know, monitoring when the market is gonna close. So on the 16th, guys, this month, the market is not gonna be open because it's President's Day. Okay, it's a holiday. Okay, and so this is pretty good to track. And so the next thing to check, right? It's these hours here. You know, hours of operation, you know, and everything for the Nasdaq. Normally, it would, you know, just like I said, the market hours is 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, because the market, you know, especially the Nasdaq, it's in New York, guys. Now you have other markets, guys. One is in Chicago as well. I'm not, you know, I'm not too more familiar with that one. I'm normally familiar with the New York Stock Exchange, but you know, in the world internationally, I mean, there's plenty of markets out there. Okay, and so the one that's very very known for us in the U.S. is the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, and so to kind of learn what I'm teaching you guys, you have to be focused on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, and so yeah, so this is pretty much it. You know, any more information, everything is on the Discord, guys. You don't need to join the Discord, but you could get in there, grab whatever you need, and that will be enough for me. I mean, it's up to you if you guys want to, you know, join the channel and everything. Also, in my description, guys, there's a you have a disclaimer, guys. Not only protecting me, but protecting you guys for making decisions that, you know, you guys having trouble with, or you know, making like desperate decisions that may cause you to lose money. So read that disclaimer. Is not too much, and so that will help both of us, you know, understand the system. And so as well, the information on the description, guys, I have plenty of links of different you know, channels that I use, you know, Twitch, YouTube, you know, Pickaxe, all that. I mean, you guys could join, show support. That will help me get more of my viewers involved and everything. So that will help me overall. So uh so let's go ahead, let's keep going. So on my criteria, guys, let me go back to see what I'm seeing. Okay, there we go. So let me see if I so the volume is, let me lower down a little bit the volume because I hear myself a little bit. There we go. Okay. So what you see here, right, is Pacific time. I already wrote down, probably changed, right now it's 46. And the note that I wrote here, guys, is gonna be used for when we start scanning for the new stocks for today. Okay. I said here, focus on market cap when scanning for stocks under 300 million market value. My personal preference. So market cap, in total summary, it's the total value of the company. Simple as that. Any more information that you guys want to know about what market cap is, I mean, you guys could go to Investopedia. I mean, there's plenty of people that will break down different types of market caps, you know, different values of different companies. You know, on YouTube you can find that. But me, I focus on very very low market value of companies. And so yeah, anything under 300 million is perfect, because just like I said in other streams, guys, you know, it's way easy for a company to be, you know, to be worth 10 million dollars, just for an example, right, to go up to 20 million, or let's say 100 million. It's way more easy for a company to do that than for $1 billion company to become 10 billion or 100 billion. Two different animals, and it will take a lot of volume. It will take a lot of share exchange in order to get to that point. Okay, the value of the, you have to understand supply and demand to kind of understand why price goes up and price goes down. Okay, if you cannot understand supply and demand, then you might, I mean, I suggest you guys to get a class, like economics class or something, or get on YouTube, guys. There's plenty of people that would explain way better what supply and demand is. And so the Rumblebot says, thanks for the follow, Thomas. Thomas Chen's Bucks 01. Appreciate it. Thank you for the follow. Also, before I continue, guys, at the end of the month on February, guys, I'm gonna I'm gonna thank everybody who follow me, just like I did on December and January, guys. I'm gonna thank everybody in one day, probably the end of the month. I'm gonna run down everybody that, um, showing appreciation, and then I'm gonna do like a roulette, like I did last month, and whoever wins, then I'm gonna give them a nice donation. The bigger I get, the more bigger the donation is gonna be. So this is just the beginning. So yeah, that's kind of my token of appreciation. So let's go ahead and continue, guys. And so as you can see here, on my criteria, guys, just like I said, so if you understand supply and demand, everything else gets more easy, guys. Okay. And so right here, I have here written down for live trading, pre-market and market open, right? So pre-market, just like I said, the market hours is anything, pre-market is before 9:30 Eastern time. Okay. I think it starts from 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Now I look at the hours on Pacific time because it's way more easy for me to like monitor. But on my, what do you call that? On my platform for Weeble, I have the exact hours, the New York Stock Exchange hours, so I won't get too lost. But I also focus on the time that I'm at right now. And so you have to kind of like um, balance that. And so anything pre-market or market open, guys, from 9:30 to 4 o'clock. This is my criteria right here. While the market is while the stocks are moving, I want to focus on percentage change. Anything above 20% is what I want to focus. And this is for the top percent gainers, guys. And so I'm going to make it very clear. I'm going to put everything in caps here too. Top percent gainers. And this, you could find it in the software that you're some of the software that you're trading. You might not see this option, but on on software like Weeble, you have a section where it says top percent gainers, and once you press that, you get the scan of the percent gainers there, and then you could start breaking down all the stocks that you want to see. And so what I would like to see afterwards, once I find any stocks over 20%, I want to start breaking it down. First, I want to focus on price, right? Price has to be anything between $1 and $20. It's my personal preference, guys. Very cheap, very cheap to buy a lot of shares, guys, of the stock. Um, Also, I don't have to worry about stock if it's under $1. I don't. If the stock is under $1, I don't have. I don't trade those because if most of the time these stocks, especially if they're trading on the Nasdaq, they get these delisting notifications, and so I don't want to be too focused on stocks getting these type of news. And that's not good news. The stock can either liquidate very fast and close the company, and you could be in the middle of the trade and you could probably have a pretty deep loss, depending what time of day or when does it the company's gonna make decisions. And so you have to be aware of that. Also, not only price I focus on, I also focus on you know uh the news of the stock. Why the stock is moving. Why is up in a big percentage this specific time. And so I want to check the news. Normally on the softwares, guys, you will see You will see news like earnings news, which is really positive. It doesn't matter what's in the news as long as the titles. For me, this is just my personal preference of the years that I've been doing this. um Usually people who do day trading, guys, they don't go ahead and check fundamental analysis. They don't go ahead and check the financials. They don't go ahead and check all different. Now that's a good it's good, it's something good to have extra. But when you're trading stocks that move very very fast, guys, in matter of minutes, you cannot go ahead and spend like an hour or half an hour looking at the financials, because by the time you end doing your research, guys, the move already passed by you, and you're probably most likely gonna lose your opportunity. Okay, and it's not only one stock. There's plenty of stocks that are moving very fast, and there's plenty of opportunity in the market. And so there's certain things that work and certain things that don't work. And so for me, what works is this type of criteria. And so when I'm looking at news, it has to be very fast. I'm looking at the title. Does it has earning news? Does it has a partnership news? Does it has a contract news? Did a new investor came by and dump a lot of money in the company? Those are the kind of news I want to focus in order to make a quick decision, and then move on to the next thing to keep on breaking down. Now the next thing is the float. What I want to see what is the float, guys? The float is the supply, guys. Anything, when there's less supply than demand, the price has to pick up. Okay, because it needs to meet the demand. They need to get more money into investing into more supply, guys. Okay, and once they have enough supply, way more than the demand, then they have to pull the price down in order to attract more buyers, guys. And so that's kind of like the what supply and demand is in really short words. However, there's a lot of people that would explain it very eloquent, but that's the little summary that I could give you about float. That is very, it's pretty much the supply. And so a guy like me that does day trading, I like to focus on anything below 10 million, which is very low float, guys. Very low float. Also, I want to see the volume, which is the demand. Now, the volume has to be anything over a million, guys. I don't focus on anything lower than a million, especially when the market is open. Okay, because it makes it more easy for me to trade over a million, because it's way more easy to get in and get out, and you don't have no issue with no market maker trying to pull you off the order, or execute orders. That's in terms of order execution, guys. Now if you're trading a stock that's trading only 10,000 shares traded for that specific time, that's not enough shares. You probably could get in, but you're gonna have a lot of trouble trying to get out, guys. And that's kind of the issue, guys. Okay, and so volume has to be over a million, right? And more preferably way over the max amount of what the float what I require of the float. In this case will be at least double the amount of 10 million, which is 20 million. So that's kind of my niche there. And so also the next thing I want to check is the daily chart. And the daily chart will tell me whether the price is a multi-week multi-day breakout, multi-week breakout, multi-month, multi-year. If the price of the stock per share, it's way above those what I just mentioned. And so these terms might be very much for you guys who's learning right now. But eventually, once you get to know and study this and understand a little bit what breakout is, what breakdown is, all these are technical analysis terms. So once you get to know these things, you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. Okay, and it's gonna come to you guys eventually, little by little. Okay, so I want to check whether it's a multi-day, multi-week, multi-month, or even a multi-year breakout. Okay, I can only see that on the daily chart. Okay, and so once I check that on the daily chart, then I want to see the past, the data of this stock. Does it that did it show, did it had a history of running, had it ran before at a certain rate, similar to what is running at the specific time that you're watching. Has it done it before? If it did if it did indeed ran before, then great, awesome. Then that right there is my criteria. And then if all that, it doesn't have to fit perfectly. Some of the times it does, but at least 8 out of 10 of my criteria, if it does fit in the stock, then I'll go ahead and write a note, write my watch list, and write the I'm gonna do that. Once I finish scanning the stocks, I'm gonna do my an example of how to write a watch list, right, for the stocks, and that's gonna give you an example of how to do it. Now, all this I'm explaining to you guys, it took me like 20 minutes to explain, but in reality, guys, once you get to know this and know how to trade, guys, it only takes like 5 minutes to go through these stocks one by one. And you only need like one or two stocks to trade. You don't need 10, 20, 30 stocks to trade, guys. These move very fast, and if you're not, if you're focused on 10 stocks at the same time, most likely you're gonna miss more than 90% of them. Okay, so this is my criteria, guys. Another thing here, need to focus on these this criteria right there when the market is closed. So most of this criteria that I have listed is for the market close, and it's almost identical as the top one, right? The only thing that changed was that I no longer focus on the percentage change. Okay, because when the market is closed, the percentage change doesn't move, so there's no necessity of me trying to track percentage change. There's zero, it's not moving. There's no need for me to track it. Okay, so when the market is closed, I no longer focus on the percentage change. I only want to focus on the rest of the criteria. Okay, another thing that I missed here was the relative volume. Okay, now what's the relative volume, guys? It's a ratio that you get of calculating the current volume, right, versus the average volume over a period of time. Okay, in this case, when we start using Finviz, right, which is the website to scan the stocks, they have only 90 days, which is 3 months. Okay, and so off of that calculation, you could say, you could check whether there's a lot of demand for the stock. Okay, and so right here, this is for the crypto. This is a little criteria that I have for to filter out the crypto. And so we're gonna go through this in a couple more minutes. Well, when we finish dealing with the stocks. And so let's keep on scrolling down right here. Thank you guys for showing up. Don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the follow, guys. I would appreciate it very much if you guys do that. We do this from Monday to Friday, guys, and on Saturday and Sunday we do gaming. Have a little bit of fun, guys. That's what we're all about. And so feel free to hit the chat, and any question that you guys have, hit the chat or hit the comments. I also have an email, guys. If you want to do it more private, do whatever that fits you guys. I would appreciate it. So another thing here, you see here I have Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, right? Let's say on the software, right, that you're using, whatever software that you're using, that you're trading stocks. Let's say, guys, that you cannot find any news, right, of the stock. The X platform is a great place to find what are people talking about the stocks that you're looking at. And so in order to find those type of news, you have to put the dollar sign, right? First put the dollar sign, and right next to it you put the ticker symbol, right? Or I mean, we call it the ticker symbol, but you could call it whatever name that you. It's the company name in short words. The short words that they use normally to when they put the company in the market. They have to come up with a symbol. As short. And so that helps the market makers. Put in the orders for the other for the traders, the investors and everything. It makes it way more easy for the market, to deal with the company name. And so in this case, you have the dollar sign, you have the ticker symbol, and then you could press enter, right? And by you pressing enter, you can see information like either the company posted recent news, or you could see people talking about it. Whatever they talking about it, hyping the company or whatever. So me, I don't like to get too much in detail looking at what people are talking about the company. All I want to see is the amount of uh of news of the company, which is, if it's only people talking about it, then that's pretty good. And if they talking about it a lot, that means, everybody's hyping it up. And so, that's all I need, to as a base, to as a guide, trying to, make my decision whether I want to trade the stock or not. And so I don't make decisions based only on news. There's plenty of things behind it, and so I'm gonna explain it eventually on this stream, guys. We're only 40 minutes into this stream, so let's go ahead and continue, guys. So just in case, if you want to see more specific you know on the stock that you're looking at, you can also like put this little formula right here, right next to the, not close to it, but once you put this ticker symbol with the dollar sign, you press a space, and then you put this little formula right here, and the dates you change it, with by recent to old. Okay. And so that's the way you put it there. And once you finish putting the dates, then you press enter, and you're supposed to only it's only supposed to show you specific dates that you're trying to find. Okay. And so let's go ahead and continue. So stocks, I mean, we didn't had nothing for the weekend, guys. We didn't scan nothing for the weekend. So that's a pretty good thing at this moment, because now we could go ahead and jump into scanning the stocks and starting off our roll here. So let's go ahead and do that really quick, guys. Just like I said, appreciate it for everyone passing by. Don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the follow, guys. And if you guys are, if you guys can support El Wolf PR and D Love, go ahead and go to their channels. Show some support over there. Hit the like, the share, and the follow, guys. Go ahead and show support over there as well. Really good content creators and everything. So let's go ahead and continue. So we're gonna use Finviz right now. We're gonna use Finviz, and right here on Finviz, right, we're gonna scan the stocks, and if you don't see this screen, guys, hit the title of the web, okay, and it's gonna take you to this screen, okay. Right here, the good thing about this web is it also gives you the date, right, and the time that you're of the New York Stock Exchange, okay. So just in case, if you're West Coast and you don't know the times that the stock market is, you can see this thing right here on the Finviz, okay. It will give you exactly what time is it. In 2 hours from now, in Eastern time, guys, it's the market is gonna like definitely close, because even so it is after hours, the market is still moving, okay. With PR with the hearts, thank you for the support. D Love say appreciate the shout out. Oh yeah, no problem. This is what we do. We help each other out, and you know we all trying to help each other out to grow and get better at here at Rumble. And so yeah, anybody that needs help with their hours, for their requirement, for the to continue in the program, hit me up, guys. I'm if I have to leave a couple tabs open to help you guys get your hours there, I will do my best to help you guys out. Okay. Don't feel free to hit me up. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue. We have the screeners here. This will be the first thing that we want to hit, this tab right here, the screener. And now we have 545 pages of stock to watch. Now, one thing about me, I like very simple. I like to keep it simple and short and really easy for everyone. I'm definitely not gonna go through 545 pages worth of stock. Um, I want to minimize that, and so the criteria that I gave you guys, that's exactly what we're gonna use. Okay. And so we have here this little bit amount of information. So to get everything, you have to hit the all tab right here, and once you hit that, you have all the information you need in order to filter out a little bit the stocks. Okay, to get the stock that you need. And so just like I mentioned before, market cap is the first thing we would want to use. I mean, everything doesn't have to be in order, but as long as you put all this input, you can find the stocks that I normally focus at. Okay. And so this right here, just like I said, I mean, right here, if you hover the mouse to the word right here, it says market capitalization. Okay. And it says here total market value of the company, of the company's outstanding shares. So that's pretty much what I just said before. I said total company value, you know, total, it's what the company's worth in total, okay. And so I like to focus anything under 300 million. This right here is the lowest of the lowest. They call it micro cap. Okay. And so you have way lower than micro, but those are a little, they call nano caps. Well, there's different type. I mean, nano cap is over 50 million. Is, well, anything under 50 million is considered nano cap. But I mean, there's way more lower than micro. There's other names that you could name it. I care less about those. I'm teaching you guys what works for me. So micro is my preference, guys. And so let's go ahead and continue with price. The good thing about this one is that you could pick two, the from what to what price that from a difference of prices that you prefer. In this case, I have one option here that says 1 to 20, which is perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. But if you didn't have that option, anything under 20 will be perfect. Now you most likely gonna have to weed out the ones that are below the dollar. Okay. So we already did market cap. We already did price. The next thing in the third column, guys, we're gonna see the relative value. Right. And so the relative volume says here the ratio of current volume compared to 3 months average. Now, what they forgot to add to this was the average is the average volume. Okay. It's not the average flow. It's not the average of whatever else. It's the average of volume. Okay. So this is pretty much saying that they have their calculation gives you the ratio between the current volume and the average volume over a period of time, guys. Okay. The Rumblebot says here, thanks for the follow, Red Flag Horizon. Thank you, appreciate it very much. Thank you, it's much appreciated. Thank you so much. I'm gonna do my best to go ahead and check you guys out. If you have content, I'll follow you. um if anything, let me know if you have content, so I could go ahead and do that, as we go. And so let's go ahead and continue. So relative volume, guys, anything over 5 ratio is my personal preference, is what works for me. And so industry right here, I like to focus on stocks only. I'm not focused on ETFs. I'm not focused on none of these other options. Okay, only stocks. Okay. Also, I want to focus on anything on performance. It has to be, the stock has to be running. Okay, anything that's not running, I don't care about it. Okay, it has to be up to the, and so thank God there's a option here where it says today up. So any stocks that are up for the day, that's what we want to see. And so also we want to focus on the demand, which is the volume, right? It says here the current volume, right, which means the number of shares traded today, right? And so that's pretty much self-explanatory. Volume is pretty simple. It's the demand of the stock. Okay. The more volume and the less flow, the price has to go up. Okay. When there's too much supply and less demand, the price has to go down. Okay. And so very self-explanatory. There's different ways you could trade in the market. You could do long trading, right? Which means long uh, uh, going long in the stock market pretty much means buying low and selling at a higher price for a profit, right? Shorting means you're borrowing shares from a broker, right? And you're covering those shares at a lower price. So when that money goes back, whatever you owe to the broker, you pay it off back. Whatever you have left, you keep that. That's your profit. Okay. So that's shorting. Okay. Now the only downside about shorting is, I mean, there's plenty of downsides. One is that you're borrowing. It's kind of like borrowing from the bank. For sure you got to pay that back. And if you don't pay that back, they're gonna hunt you down. With just like the people that that have problems with the credit, like collection companies and everything. Okay. So yeah, that's one of the downsides. The other downside is that if the price is going the opposite side of you guys, I mean, there's no limit on how much you could lose if you're shorting. Okay. So you have to be very, very careful, and you have to know what you're doing if you're shorting. Now, on the long side is a little bit more easy, self-explanatory. Now, you're buying low and you're selling high. That's kind of like the most basic thing that you could do in the market. Now, you have to know how you're trading. If you're trading with a margin account, right? Then you have only 3-day trades that you could do for the week. If you do more than that, right? Especially if you're under the PDT rule, right? If you're under the PDT rule, then these terms right here that you hear, guys. I mean, you guys could pause the video. I mean, rewind when the stream ends. But the PDT, guys, is a rule that the SEC did, to regulate, kind of regulate the market, in terms of how much leverage you could get out of the out of the trading and on a margin, and so um for the margin, guys, if you're under the PD2, if you're under it, the PDT, then you only have 3-day trades for the week. If you pass that, then you have to have at least 25,000. I'm not sure if it changed. So don't take my word for it. It probably did change the amount, but back then when I was getting to know everything, it was $25,000 that you have to have in the account in order to trade. That's if you violate over 3-day trades for the week. Okay. Now, if you have over 25,000, let's say you have 30,000 in that account. I mean, you could trade as many times as you want. That's the great thing about trading margin. Like, you could trade in and out. I mean, as long as you have over 30,000 and that over the limit that is required for you to trade on margin. Now, if you're trading cash account like I do, you could trade. I mean, if you have good money management, you could trade as many times as you want. But if you trade the whole entire amount that you have on that account on one trade, guys, you're gonna have to wait 2 days for the money to be reflected in your account again in order to go ahead and trade again. Okay, and so that's, you know, me, I don't like to trade everything that I have on my account. I like to, like, have a certain amount to trade, and be very skeptical on how I'm trading, based on, my criteria, based on a strategy that I have, my exits, my entries. I mean, I would love to, like, tell you everything that I know, but I know it takes several days, several weeks to understand, and I don't want to, like, overwhelm you guys. Probably already did. Probably already did, with a lot of stuff. But just like I said, if you love stocks, if you're interested in learning about stocks, then you have to do the work in order to understand it, and you have to study everything that I've mentioned here, you know. Now, you could do technical analysis, like what I do, right? Which what I'm gonna show you in a bit. This is part of technical analysis as well, but also it has to do a lot with the chart, and so you also have fundamental analysis, right? You have to understand financials, understand the company very well, the board of the company, and everything, I mean, there's a lot to it, guys. It's not only knowing the financials. There's a lot to it and behind that. Now, the fundamental analysts, guys, they don't focus too much on the charts. They look at the charts, but they focus more on the financials, on the health of the company, and whether that company has a good opportunity to keep growing. Okay, and so that's one way you could trade. And mostly when you're doing fundamental analysis, you're not trading for just for that day. You're trading for the long term. Okay, you're trading long term, which means for weeks, for months, or even for years, guys. That could be either for as your career. You could do that as a career, or you could do that for your retirement. There's many ways you could trade in the market, guys. Many options, guys. Now, me, I'm the type of guy, I like short term. I like the money now. Kind of, I said it so many times already. It's like that commercial that the guy said, "I need my money now." That's the guy. That's the guy I am. I'm very skeptical. Not in a bad way, in a good way, because I manage my money pretty well in terms of trading. Um, but if you don't know what you're doing, I wouldn't recommend you guys to trade. Okay. Do your due diligence, do your homework, and you should be fine. Okay. And so let's go ahead and continue. So current volume is the demand, right? And I like anything over 1 million because it helps me get in the trade easily and get out the trade whenever I want to. I don't have to be, I won't be stuck. I won't be worried about being stuck in the stock. Okay. On the trade. Another thing, this is the last criteria that I search, which is the flow, which is the supply of the stock. And just like I said, anything under 10 million, that's my personal preference. Okay, and so now we see out of 540 something pages, now we see one page here, right? And now we don't see a lot of stocks. We only see 13, right? And out of this 13, we're gonna keep squeezing more until we get a pretty decent, small amount of stocks that we could only focus, and we don't have to focus on all 13. Okay. Now, before we do that, I like to take all this thing out. I care less what the company is named, what the name of the company is, what sector is in, what industry is in, what the where the country where it comes from, and stuff like that. I don't care, and so I like to remove that. I also like to remove the percentage change. I already gave you guys a great reason, which is, the market is closed, so the percentage doesn't change at all, especially once it hits 8 o'clock, it does not change. So I want to remove that, the P ratio as well, and I removed the market cap because I already filter everything out, and so I no longer need it, and so we're gonna remove that right now. And so the way you do that, you got to hit the custom tab. Okay. And uh, so this is the custom tab, guys. Very simple to understand. All you have to do is remove what, uncheck whatever that you don't want to see, right? And so the numbers, I don't like to see the numbers. I don't like to see the company, the sector, the industry, the country, the market cap, the P ratio, and the percentage change, right? And now look what you see. Very clear, very simple to understand a little bit more. And what we want to add is the relative volume, right? And we want to add the supply, which is the flow. Okay. And now we have something simple. It's not hard to, it's not hard in your eyes. You have now like 5 columns here. And so the next thing I want to do is I want to cut it short now. Instead of 13, I want to, focus on a few only. And so the way you do that is you want to sort volume from high to lowest, right? And now we have here these 5 stocks here that are a little bit above their double digits. Okay, I don't focus too much on these right here because the demand is very low, and so there's not a lot of activity going on those. As you can see here, on the previews, probably this one did a pretty good move. DSS, JLHL is another one. This one didn't had a pretty good move. This one is very low move, and this one went $1. But we gotta see the volume. It might look good on the chart, but we have to see the volume, guys. And so we're gonna check that right now. This one incredible. It had 2,120 relative volume. Okay, and so price is perfect. Everything is very low price, very cheap. I mean, you could get a couple hundred shares or 1,000 shares, and make some decent money with these. So let's go ahead and check the first one, which is SWVL. Okay. And so this is where we go. We go to Trading View, and we want to make sure that we are looking at stocks. And so SWVL is the one that we're going to check. And so as you can see here, let me check if it's the right one, SWVL. And so this is the right one. And I like to look at the 5-minute. Almost a good majority, guys, like to see 1 minute. Like to trade on the 1 minute or less than that. But it's a little bit too aggressive. The price change is very aggressive and it moves very fast. I like to see a little bit slower, and the candles are, you can see them way bigger. Okay. And so when you're looking at this chart, right, you see this green, red, right? All this is price action, right? And this will only show up if it shows up first on the tape, right? And so what's the tape? The tape is a box, right, on the trading platform that you're using, right, which shows the transactions that happen at that specific time. Whether somebody bought 500 shares of a stock, whether somebody sold 10 shares of the stock, you will see that information, all of it, passing through very either slow or fast, depending on the demand and the supply, the transaction of shares. Okay. And if it doesn't show up on that tape, it's not going to show up on the chart. Okay. And so that's one thing to see, to know. And also, when you're trading in the market, especially these stocks, you also want to have everything running real time. You don't want to have nothing delayed. Okay. Because these stocks move very fast, very short time. And in matter of minutes, that's what it counts. So right here for this one, guys, I wouldn't have opportunity to do what I like to do, what is my strategy, which is the breakout. So I mark lines where the resistance lines are, and the resistance is pretty much sellers holding the price down. and there's no buyers that want to buy at the higher price. It's too expensive for them at that specific time. So there's not a lot of buyers and there's way more sellers, and they're pushing the price down. That's why you see this drop here. Okay. And so this red line right here, as you can see, this is called the VWAP. Okay, is the volume weighted average price, right? So they take averages, right, of a certain amount of time, and based on those calculations of volume and price, they get this line right here. And this line, right, is called an indicator as well. It's an indicator. And the majority of indicators, guys, I mean, this is the pure truth. This is the whole entire honesty that I could give you guys. All indicators, guys, are delayed. Unfortunately, they're not gonna move at the same rate that the price moves on the chart. Okay, so you're gonna see a little bit delayed, and you cannot make the mistake of making decisions based on the indicator. Okay, there's plenty of people that make decisions based on the indicator. They want to see averages crossing or whatever they want to see, and that's not a good strategy. Okay, some people are successful with it, some people are not. A great majority is not successful with it. I mean, it is already proven that more than 90% of people lose money on the stock market, guys. 90%. That's not great, guys. That means people are just going there, very degenerate, trying to put money there, trying to get rich in one day, and then they end up losing money, and they're like, well, why the hell I just lost all this money? What happened? Well, first of all, you might not have not understand the market. You might not seen the charts or nothing. You just put money there, probably because somebody just told you buy here, buy and sell here, or all this crap information. You know, like I don't want to go in a rant because this is not what I want to do with the channel. I want to keep it very positive, but sometimes I feel like I want to go on a rant, and so I'm not gonna go on a rant today, but hopefully I will never do that, but there's people that that advise other people, oh, get in this stock, buy here at this price and sell over there. And most of the time when you're doing that, you don't even get the profit. The move already happened. You're already too late, and you lost your money. And now you want to go ahead and rip the that other guy's head off because he gave you a bad advice, you know. And so that's not the way to trade in the market. And so you got to be very conscious of what you're doing. And so let's go ahead and continue. Enough of the little rant. And so this is the 5 minute, guys. You could trade in different time frames. I mean, you got the daily chart, right? The daily chart is going to show you the whole entire history of where the stock started at the beginning and where it ended, guys. Okay, very, very long term. It's going to show you the long term. Now if you want to see a lot shorter, I mean, then you go down a lot shorter. Now the 5 minute is my personal preference, guys. And so I like to trade, these candles right here are more clear to see. It doesn't hurt your eyes compared to like the 1 minute. The 1 minute you see little small candles and they move very fast and it's hard to catch up. So you have to learn how to read these very fast. And so also anybody who doesn't know what these are, right? These are called Japanese candlesticks. I mean, there's plenty of people on YouTube that would show you how these work, how they open, how they close. And so when you're learning these, you have to understand, how they work, okay? So this is the 5 minute chart, right, that I use. And so right for the strategy that I'm looking for is it's not gonna work, this is this right here, one or two up to three red candles. I call it the confirmation pullback, which is three candles together pulling back, right? And this is a pullback. any stock that does the opposite of a uptrend is called a pullback. Okay, I know for sure I'm blasting a lot of information on you. You probably like, what the hell? He just told me all this information. But eventually, what you little by little gonna do, you just grab all the terms that you listened today, write them on a note, and little by little go to YouTube or go to Investopedia and search this little by little. Okay, and eventually you're gonna get it. I mean, it took me a long, long time to get this, but it's gonna be way easier over time. And so, yeah, it doesn't take too long to understand the terms. Now, let's go ahead and, yeah, this one, it was below the VWAP line, and so I don't see no continuation for the next day. However, the volume was pretty awesome. 42 million compared to the average. You know, and also the float was pretty low, 6 million. So that was pretty good. Pretty good demand, pretty good supply. And so right here, oh sorry, babe. Hold on a second, guys. Let me go on a little 2-minute break really quick. Let me talk to my wife really quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. I had to speak really quick to my wife. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do like a part two when I come back, cause I have a couple things to do today. But I'm gonna come back for a part two, probably to finish off with the crypto. Okay, but in the meantime, we're gonna do the stocks. Okay, we're gonna do the stocks really quick. I appreciate every single one of you guys for passing by and showing love and support. Let's go ahead and get this flowing. So let's go ahead and start off. So we're not yet writing on this thing. We're still looking at the stocks. So bear with me for a second, guys. Let me find. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the next one is CISS, right? SWVL was not successful today. It did had a news here, recent news. It says SWVL secures new 5-year contract of up to 5.5 million in UAE. Okay, so that's good, really good news. Okay, it's a contract news, and that's what we like to see, guys. This is kind of what we like to see. We would like to see news, especially contract news, earnings, partnerships, investments from big investors. I mean, stuff like that. Discovering a cure for cancer. I mean, going through a third phase of, when the biotechs do their phases, going through their last phase before they get approved. Stuff like that, little positive news. Not little, I mean, these are big news. But when you see these kind of newses, people get attracted by it, and so they like to invest in companies like that. Now, price doesn't react sometimes like you wanted it to react, and so in this case it did react in a positive way at the beginning, but then it just, people just took profit and just, right, it just gave back all of its gains. There's a lot of traders out there that didn't trade this one, and they just scan the stocks, maybe right now or or later on in at night, and they might see that one on the top list just like I see it, right? And when they see this news, they either gonna be attracted to buying and investing in the stock, or they're gonna wait for the next day and check if there's some more demand for it, and so it will be good to watch, but for me, I'm not gonna watch it because it's not over. First of all, it's not over the VWAP, right? It's not showing me any life right now, and it didn't close strong enough for a continuation, okay, for what I'm used to watching, you know. And so yeah, this one is not gonna be on the list, and so we're gonna check CISS, which is not great because I just see here there was a big drop there, but we're gonna look at it anyways. CISS, guys. And so CISS had a drop right over here, had a big drop, and now right here, just, this is the back end of the move, guys. On the daily, it does not look good. It's terrible. However, it does have some little bit of moves here, that attract there. I mean, it does have a bunch of splits, which is not great, that they do splits most of the time in order to keep the price above $1, because once they get that price below $1, guys, then they get a delisting notification from NASDAQ, okay? And so when that happens, guys, that's not good news. If they don't make drastic decisions, guys. Sorry for getting stuck there. It's just trying to make the words in my head. But when they don't make drastic decisions to try to push the price up, then most likely they will get delisted out of the company, out of the market, okay? And they end up being either OTC or maybe the company stops producing, and they pretty much they die afterwards. They go out of business, and so that's not good. That's not good news, okay? So they had a recent split there in January 26th, a couple days ago. They had a recent split, which is not good. And it's just, it's trying to survive right now, trying to stay above the $1. Today, it had a pretty interesting breakout. This is a breakout right here. We had marked this line a couple days ago. I think it was Friday. We had marked that line, and so look what happened. Right here, it broke out. This is a confirmation breakout, and this little move right here. Let me see if I could. Right there, got it. Right here, you could have gotten this trade, and this thing made 14% on this little 2 candles in 10 minutes, guys. 14%. Big companies out there, guys, they struggle to make 14% in a year. Can you believe that? And so this stock right here, in these 10 minutes, guys, of one day, it made 14%. Okay? On this two move, and I haven't even measured the whole entire move. This whole move right here, from pre-market open all the way to the highest point, 95%, guys. Now you won't get the whole move, but some people are lucky enough to buy it at that point, or they probably bought it the previous day at a cheaper price, and sold it right there on the top. But that's a little bit advanced, and so that was a good trade. And so 95%, guys, I mean, there's plenty of companies out there that have trouble making 95% in one day, guys, or even weeks, or even it takes some other companies years to make 95%, guys. And you see these little stocks doing that. Okay, so that's the power of these stocks, guys. And you have to find them. And so if my criteria works on finding these every morning when I wake up pre-market early in the morning, hour early or 2 hours at least before the market opens at before 9:30. I do my scan of the day, and I check my criteria. Everything has to, I first check the percentage, the top percent gainers, right? Anything over 20%, or higher, that's what I'm focused on. Then I check the price, I check the volume, I check the float, you know, all these things, and then I pluck them out, I put them on the list, and then I start looking at the daily and seeing which one of these have an opportunity to keep continuing the move, and so based on that, that's kind of how I make my decisions. Then after that, I make my plan to entry and exit, you know, for to take profit. And let's say the price doesn't go my way. If the price doesn't go my way, I cut short. I don't want to stay in the stock hoping and having hope for it to turn back, and trying to make a higher move. No, I don't want to do that, because that's when you get bit in the behind. You know, I don't want to even say the other word, but that's when you start losing money a lot faster. And so yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to hold and hope. Okay. And so this is very short term. Your profit, you're supposed to know your numbers, know how much you want to make for the month, and you break it down in 4 weeks, and then you break it down in the whole entire week, and then you could break it down as well in whatever hours that you want to trade in the day. And that right there, you can make either a spreadsheet and to track your numbers and see how much profit you make for that specific time. How long did it took you to stay in the trade? I mean, there's many things that I could give you guys, but I believe it's too much right now, because some of you guys are learning and trying to learn this thing. That's a little bit too advanced, but you do have to do your due diligence, if you want to learn this, but these are the type of stocks you could find with these kind of moves like this. um they come every day, guys. Every day from Monday to Friday, you'll see something all the time. Nobody's gonna miss anything. Nobody. Never think that way. Okay, you'll never miss an opportunity in the market. There's always an opportunity. You just got to learn how to capitalize. Okay, and so yeah, for the 5 minute, I think my trade would have been the breakout. Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, this candle right here is the resistance line right here. Most likely I would have waited. I mean, if I would have tracked this for the whole entire day, for till Monday, if I would have made that trade, I would have made some profit, some good profit. Now, some people that didn't track it, like me, I would have waited for a pullback. And right here, you could have capitalized on this pullback right here. You could have got in here on this candle right here after these two confirm shadow of this entire candle. You could have got in there for 9%. There was 9% on this only candle. In 5 minutes, you could have made up to 9%, guys. Me, I base myself 5-10%, and if I'm lucky, I'll get 20%. But I don't like to try to hit the fences, trying to look for 100%. Yeah, no, that I don't want to do that. Now, if there's a stock that's very aggressive, and it's like GME back in the day, back in COVID times, when it was doing those big moves like that. I mean, you could have got in anywhere and make some big profit, but you don't want to try to go ahead and hold and hope to seek a big percentage like that. You want to keep it very, very low, and you want to make that consistently. Consistency, that's the key. Having consistency. And so if you missed the breakout, you could have waited for the pullback and got in that pullback and made some profit, either taking profits halfway of this high or near the highs, Now you have to be tolerant to, you know, not be panicked by this pullback, by this small pullback. And that right there could have gave you up to 21% of profit. You know, it's not perfect, these moves, but you know, if you learn, you could capitalize on those moves. You know, so this thing went down all most of the day. It, you know, it failed. It's way below the VWAP line, and it didn't close near the highs. So this one is another one out of the list. It gave back most of its gains. So yeah, this one is not going to be on the list as well. And the reason why this thing went up, let me see if it does have some type of news. Um, there's many ways to find news. Just like I showed before, either through the websites or through this web or some other software, or if not, social media, which is the X platform. Now I can't show you guys the X platform because there's a lot of crazy stuff there, and I don't wanna like, I don't know if kids are watching or whatever, and so I don't wanna like be in trouble with none of the platforms. So I'm trying to prevent that. And so on the 28th, the recent news was uh this is a fluff news. This is not telling me, it's only telling me that this stock went over 15%, but it's not giving me why it went up to 15%. Now this next news right here, it says it provided fleet expansion update in the tanker sector, announcing management, let me see more specific, management's estimate of net asset values. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. So it's you know, they have a little meeting there, you know, that company stating those little updates, but it's not as significant as a earnings news, as a contract news, as an investor hopping in and investing in the company, big money in the company. You know, that's not as significant as that, you know. So let's go ahead and continue on the daily, guys. The daily, not great, not looking great. It had a bunch of splits as well. However, it did have some moves here, and that's pretty much everything. I don't want to go too much in detail. But let's go ahead and continue checking DOGZ. Um, DOGZ had a big drop there. However, it had a really short-term move. Uh, I don't like seeing stocks like that do those big drops like that, but we're gonna look anyways. We're gonna look at it really quick and see what happened there. So it did have some history of running. That's good news. Now we want to see more zoomed in. And so as you can see here, I mean, the volume is not much. 23 million is pretty decent, but look at the average is pretty low, pretty good. Float is pretty low. So but the volume, you know, it's almost at that limit there, you know. But it's still good. It's still good. On the 5 minute, it's not, you know, there was nothing that would interest me here in getting the trade. Maybe on the 1 minute chart, there's opportunity, maybe. Um, yeah, there's for me, there's no opportunity here for the 1 minute either. So yeah, this one is a failure. And it also closed below the VWAP, and it didn't close above the near the resistance line. So this was another one that failed. Let's see if it did have some type of news, a recent news. October 17 was the most recent news. It had an earnings news. So yeah, this one is another one. It had a couple volatility halts, but nothing that would make me interested in it. So let's go ahead and continue to the next one. ACCL, another one that didn't do much that I will be interested in in short term. Sometimes this is what happens, guys. Sometimes you have hot days where good stocks show up for continuation for the next day, and there's stocks that don't show up whenever you want them to show up, you know. um sometimes there's days that you want to focus on pre-market because those are the times that, sometimes stocks move on those times only, that are very hot on pre-market. But on pre-market, the only downside is that it's not as active as after the market open, which is the couple 2 like 2 3 hours after the market open. Those are the most active times in the market. 9:30 ish to like 11 o'clock. Those are like the most active times. In the afternoon, you got a couple hours too, like 1 o'clock, 1:30 to like 2 o'clock, 2:30. But not as much as the 9:30 to 11 o'clock guys. But you also see some good moves on pre-market. Now there it's a little bit hard to like get out of the trade. If it's not over 1 million shares traded. And so this stock right here, I mean, this is a confirmation pullback right here. Now I would have waited for a confirmation breakout. This is a confirmation breakout, but it's too extended, guys. And I would have, I wouldn't get in this trade right here. If it would have opened this low, no. Just like right now, no. I wouldn't get in. It had to open like a little bit above this area here. Close to the close here. And that would have been make me confident to get in the trade. And if it would have went the opposite way, then I cut it very short. But yeah, here no opportunity as well. I don't know what the news is saying. I could check the news as well. Recent news. Sometimes you don't find news on these platforms. Some recent news. Sometimes you find it on the other trading platforms that you use. Me, I double check on Weibo. Well, most of my stuff I do it on Weibo. So on Weibo I get the news as well. So that's the good thing about Weibo. It has a lot of stuff integrated. November 19 was the last time this thing was talked about. This stock. So it is a holding company too. They mostly look for companies to buy and have them merge. So, but yeah, this thing didn't have no. I had no interest in it. It's below the VWAP, and it's below the support level as well, which is the resistance line now. Once it gets broken, it becomes support, and once it gets broken again to the opposite side, it becomes resistance again. Okay, so those are other different terms you should learn. But for the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and check another one. MRNO is the last one from these. From the stocks. MRNO. Let me check MRNO. MRNO, I've traded before. That one. But nothing interesting here again. I mean, these are the lines I had before. I mean, if I would have monitored this a little bit more for a couple days, I mean, it's already the back end of the move. I don't trade these type of stocks. I only trade the front end of the move. I mean, very short term. If it's a first green day, then I trade it. If it's like this one is a first green day, but it's not a multi-day breakout. I would like for it to be a multi-day, like this one. See this candle? This was a multi-week breakout actually, multi-week breakout. And so that I would make plans to trade this one, to trade this type of move, okay, which you will see on the 5-minute. You see this move right here is the one that I show you right now. See, after hours, I wouldn't trade after hours, but I would have waited for the next day. And right here, it had a confirmation breakout, and you could have got in right here on this candle, on this next candle, which made 9%. But this is already the past, and if let's say you missed this move, you would have waited for the pullback and test the high day again. This not this high day, this support level, which was at one point it was a higher day. But yeah, I mean, you could have got in here on this support level and got another good percentage here. Let me see if I can mark it. It went all the way up again to like 28%. So those are good moves, but this is already the past. I mean, you could learn from the past, but now this is the recent move that it had. It's already at its end. It's at its last leg right now. And so the volume right here is 15 million volume. More than the average, was pretty good. Now the float is 1 million, very low float. That's kind of what we want to see, but it's already at the end, almost at the end. The news here was in October, long time, a while ago. Let's see here, July 7 last year. Yeah, this doesn't have no recent news. So yeah, guys, this one, I mean, we don't have nothing, guys. Nothing today. So I guess everything is slowing down little by little. Um, uh, Fatten, I'm not gonna check that one. I'm not gonna check this one. Let's see DSS. DSS seems like it had a pretty decent move. The only thing I'm worried about is the volume. You know, see, it had 3 million volume, a little bit more than the average, but not as much. Not as much volume. It don't it the supply was almost as much as the volume, so that's not good to know. Now it had a pretty decent move here, and that's what it showed on the daily right here, that move right there. But you know, I couldn't take advantage of it. This is the high day right here. So yeah, these are I mean, we don't have nothing right now for the stocks. This was another one here, JHL. JLHL. JLHL. And oh my god, this was a mess, guys. You see these spaces like this? This is a bunch of halts that happen on the upside and on the downside, guys. Yeah, you don't want to get stuck on none of this, guys. On none of this. That's why you want to have a lot of volume, right? Way more than the average and way more than the float. And yeah, you don't want to see this in you know, when you're trading. Too much up and down. I mean, if you buy it up here and you get in the hold and it opens up down here, now you're, let me see how much you're down. Let's say you get it on the top and you got in the hold, you just lost on that move, you lost 14%. And most likely by the time you hit sell, you lost a lot more than that, depending on the magnitude of speed that is going. You know, it went all the way down 25% on that move right there. So that's dangerous, guys. You don't want to get on these type of stocks right here. You know, and it did a pretty big move, but I mean, it had a ton of halts, guys. I mean, they had 200% move. That's awesome, but I mean, most likely you wouldn't be able to get the whole entire move. You know, very risky at a lower volume too. So yeah, stocks today. Well, I mean, for what it was worth, showing you guys how to find them, perfect. You know, perfect day. However, we don't have no continuation day. But I mean, if you would have traded these as, like, let's say SWVL, let's say you're scanning the, oh my god, I just pressed the wrong one. Right? Let's say you woke up super early today, right? And you see a stock like this. I mean, you could have capitalized early morning and be done either one or two trades. You know, this thing went, just like I said, 95, about 90%, 85%. It went. That's amazing. You know, these are the type of stocks you could find. Sometimes you find them, you know, making this move early, a lot early, like today, or sometimes you find them making the move at the market open, which is perfect. You know, and you just gotta capitalize. You gotta learn, you know, the times that you should be looking at the stocks. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. Also, you gotta learn how to monitor this right here, which is the volume. Okay, these are candlesticks for the volume as well. Okay, well, they call it bars. These are bars here. Same, I mean, you could call it, these are bars as well, but they're more considered candlesticks. Okay, but yeah, this was pretty good today. I guess I'm gonna do like a second part later at night, because I got a couple stuff to do today. But hopefully everything that I gave you guys for the past hour and a half, guys, was enough to give to, pique your interest and, give you a little bit of value there. I mean, it takes I mean, to you can see all my streams, guys. I pretty much give you guys almost the same information. And I do it purposely, guys. I do it purposely because I want to like drill it in your head on, especially the when you're trying to learn these type of trading systems. Okay, I want to like make sure that you understand everything the same way I understand, um so that you could be self-sufficient and you don't have to like read a ton of books like I did, which is a good thing. It's not bad to read books, but I had to do a lot of research, a lot, get in a ton of programs. And I mean, it took me years to get it, and you guys are getting it here. You know, I'm not charging anybody anything. This is all free, guys, for you guys, showing support. And so hopefully everyone enjoyed it. We're gonna do crypto as a part two when I come back, guys. I'm gonna do another hour. I'm most likely gonna do an exclusive uh hour. So anybody who has premium, guys, feel free to pass by and show support when I go premium. And if you don't have a premium, guys, let me see if I can find a referral link so you guys could go ahead and sign up and get the value there for crypto. So let me go ahead and see where I can find it. There we go. Hopefully I got it. So let me go ahead and text it here. So that right there is the link to register, just in case, or you guys could hit the premium if you signed in with if you're signed in with Rumble. You could hit the button where it says join or it says premium, I think, something like that. And it will take you to the point where you guys could register and stuff like that. So either way, whatever works for you. So you don't miss the premium. Not only from me, guys. That right there, going premium, will help you see all the content. Not only for me, for all the good content creators out there, especially the big ones. That everybody knows. And so, I mean, there's a lot of benefits to it. And so, yeah, don't forget to show support to all the people who show support to me as well. I do this every day from Monday to Friday, just like I said, and I hope everybody got a great information to grasp and pique your interest in the way. So yeah, let me go ahead and before I end the stream, let me go ahead and find somebody to raid, to complete at least one raid for the day, because I gotta complete like 5 of them. So at least I do one today, one raid today, and then I'll continue to do them as the week progresses. So let's see, who can we give support really quick. Okay, let's see. Let's give support to Cami Cams. I'm gonna raid Cami Cams so I can send you guys over there. Go ahead, show support. Don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the follow. Tell them that I sent you. Tell her that I sent you. So don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the follow, guys. I'm gonna raid Cami Cams. Oh, hold on a second, babe. My girl's like, who? Let me grab her stuff really quick. Raid. It worked. No, wait a minute. It didn't work. My God, did I write it right? Raid. Is this the right way? Hold on a second. My girl's like, what? Oops. I have no clue if it's working or not. Am I doing something wrong here?
Yeah, you are.
Oh my god, I guess it's not working. I sent it like 4 or 5 times. I'm gonna have to learn a little bit more about the raids. Sorry about that, guys. But go ahead, show support over there. I'll do this when I come back, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Today afternoon for part two, guys. So yeah, don't forget to go over there to Cami. Just hit the link and go ahead and show support over there. Um, Let me go ahead. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later today.